So if you guys want to do some damage and you want to really make this game a little bit easy on yourself, then this is the build for you. Let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I have another really fun build for you, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. This is my Red Lightning Knight build, and it's going to focus on Dragon Communion, Incantations, and lightning spells in general. It is going to be a faith guide with no weapons. That's right. There's going to be no weapons that you're going to use with this particular build, how I have it set up. And I really like the way that it plays because it gives you the feel of being some form of lightning sorcerer, and it is a very fun way to play. So we're going to go through the armor, talismans, flasks, what I'm using for my seals, all of that stuff, and it's going to be starting right now. So we're going to start out with the gravestone seal being the quote-unquote weapon that we're going to be using at plus 25. This is going to have a attribute scaling of strength D and faith S, which is super good. And we're also going to be rocking an incantation scaling of 318 when this is maxed out. So the reason we're using this seal is because it's going to boost our Dragon Cult incantations by 15%, and we're going to be using 2 of these seals, which makes this a new game plus build, and that's going to give you around a 32% increase in your Dragon Communion incantations, which is real good. So this build is designed to do as much damage as fast as you can and leave bosses on their knees. So those are going to be the weapons we're using. If you want to snag this seal for yourself, you're going to go to the West Capital Rampart side of Grace in Lindell, and it's going to be dropped by the Lindell Knight with the spear, who is also guarded by an archer Lindell Knight as well, and I'll show that here on the map as I'm talking about it. So those are the weapons we're going to be using. That's the reason I chose them. I didn't want to use just another run-of-the-mill weapon because I was really curious as to how dual seals was going to play. I know that you can stack the damage with the seals, and I've always been curious about this, so this is that build, and I'm very happy with it. Now, moving on to the armor, everything we are wearing is purely aesthetic. If you guys know of anything that boosts your lightning damage armor-wise, leave it down in the comments below. I am unaware of anything that does that, but I am wearing the Knight Helm, the Twinned Armor Altered. I'm also wearing Hoslow's Gauntlets, and I'm wearing the Tree Sentinel Greaves. All of this is going to give me a poise rating of 60, which is nice because we're not going to get knocked out of our spells, and it is really awesome looking. This is probably one of the best Elden Ring Fashion Souls, whatever you want to call it, sets that I have put together in this game, and I'm real happy with it. So moving on to our talismans here, we are going to be using 4 really good talismans that I think really cooperate well and play off of each other and are all going to lend themselves to making us do more damage. So first and foremost, we're going to be using the Godfrey icon, which is going to enhance your charge spells and skills. It's going to give you an enhanced charge of your spells and skills by 15%. That's going to stack with our Gravelstone seal, adding to that damage there, and it's also going to help out with a lot of the incantations that we have because a lot of the lightning incantations are chargeable, and this is only going to boost that damage farther. For talisman number 2, we're going to be using the Ritual Sword talisman. Now, I would never ever recommend this talisman in general, only because I always get hit in this game. But because the majority of this build is designed for you to play at range and to have your enemies dead before they even get to you, this was the exception. This is going to give you a 10% raise to your attack power when your HP is at maximum. So once again, just buffing us with more damage to our skills, more damage to our spells. All of that stuff is coming from the Ritual Sword talisman, which is also going to play off the Godfrey icon in damage stacking. So now for our third talisman, we are going to be using the Phlox Canvas talisman, which is going to greatly raise the potency of our incantations. This is going to give our incantations an 8% damage boost. So once again, everything here is to stack damage to make us do as much damage as possible so we can get our enemies down as fast as possible. We are using nothing but incantations. This was a no-brainer talisman. It definitely is needed, and I like the damage boost that it gives us. And finally, for our 4th talisman, we are going to be using the Lightning Scorpion Charm. This is going to raise attack power of our lightning attacks, but it's going to lower our damage negation. So we're going to do a ton more lightning damage, but we are going to take a little bit more damage in return. This is going to boost our damage by 12% to all of our lightning skills, so pretty much every way we're dealing damage is going to have a 12% increase. If you are using this for PvP, it's going to only give you an 8% increase, but for those of you guys who are PvEers like myself, it's going to give you a 12% increase, and it's going to increase the damage you take by 10%. So if you can play at range, and if you can keep yourself from getting hit, this build is going to be absolutely legendary for you. So moving on to our Flask of Wondrous Physic, we are going to be using the Lightning Shrouding Cracked Tier. Now, this is obviously something that we need to do because it's going to give us a 20% damage increase to our lightning attacks. All all of that is going to stack on top of every other talisman we're using, and it's going to stack on top of our gravelstone seals. So we are getting a crazy amount of damage put out with this build. To make matters even better for you, the second part of the tier that we're going to be using is the Cerulean Hidden tier, which is going to eliminate all FP consumption, making all of your casting free for 15 seconds. So if you can kill your enemy within those 15 seconds, you will not only not use any FP, but you will be able to spam cast all these lightning spells and do an incredible amount of damage as you play through this game. So speaking of lightning spells and doing damage, let's go ahead and talk about our incantations really quick. As stated before, we're going to be using a lot of Dragon Cult lightning incantations and regular lightning incantations, so pretty much all of them that you can use in this build, go ahead and use. I haven't used every single one of them, but the incantations that I have used do complement this build very, very well, so let's go over them real quick. Starting off with our first incantation, we are going to be using Lightning Spear. Now, this is your daily driver when it comes to lightning incantations. You can cast it by charging it up and then launching it, or you can cast it really, really quickly just to get your enemy down as fast as possible. There are instances in this game with this build that you just need to get a cast out really quick because you don't have any weapons on you. This incantation is going to serve just that. This is going to allow you to get that damage off really quickly and then run away to get some of your bigger spells off. Our number 2 incantation is going to be Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. This is the end-all be-all for red lightning incantations in this game. It does a incredible amount of damage. As you've seen in this video so far, I've used it on a few bosses and it pretty much downs them in 1, maybe 2 casts if you charge it all the way. So I absolutely love this one for boss fights. It's not super great when it comes to adds just because it is a long cast, but a very, very good spell nonetheless. Now, Fortisax's Lightning Spear is our 3rd incantation. This is a really fun incantation to use. It's great for adds. It's great for bosses. If you just need to get a lightning cast out that's a little bit faster than the previous spell we mentioned, the Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike, then this is the exact one you want to use. It does a really good amount of damage, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. The next spell we're going to be using is Lightning Strike. This is going to be your spammy lightning spell. You can sit back behind your Great Shield Soldier Ashes or your summons, and you can spam a boss down completely with this build with this particular incantation. You get a great amount of damage with it after you initially charge it, and then you can spam it over and over again after you continually press the cast button to get the enemy down as fast as possible. And for our last damage lightning spell, we're going to be using Frozen Lightning Spear. This is going to stab the ground with a massive blue lightning spear, causing lightning to go out all over in front of you, and then lightning strikes to hit the ground. This is excellent for clearing adds. If you're in a congested group with a lot of people attacking you, you throw this down, it takes them all out at the same time. It's also very good for bosses as well because it does a really, really good amount of damage for you. And for our last incantation, we're going to be using Golden Vow. This is going to be an all-around fantastic buff spell for you that's going to allow you to get a damage increase and damage negation for your character as you go through Elden Ring. When you cast this buff, it's going to give you a 15% damage boost, and it's going to give you a 10% damage negation buff, so you're going to take 10% less damage, and you're going to do a lot more damage with all of your incantations, and it's going to be just an overall great buff for you to use. Now, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I don't think Flame Grant Me Strength is going to be any benefit here. It says it only benefits anything in the Beastal category for incantations, as well as some physical damage related to sorceries, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you need that buff here, so I wouldn't worry about it at all. And guys, that about does it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking out until the end. I am going to put the stats up on the screen for levels 50, 100, and 150 if you want to play this at meta level. All the stuff you've seen in this video has been recorded on New Game Plus 7. I am level 294, but I will have that stat breakdown for you on the screen, so make sure to check that out so you can level up this build as you go through your first playthrough. But thank you guys once again so much. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. I appreciate all the supports you guys have been giving me on my shorts and all of my videos I've been putting out thus far, so thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to be hitting the channel with more Elden Ring content and more Tears of the Kingdom content every Monday and Friday, so if you are not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you can know when I'm making more content, and until next time, guys, stay safe, enjoy the game. I'll see you in the next one.